Hello everyone and welcome to the newest edition of The Insider, the ongoing video series that keeps you up to date on all things IPW. I'm your host, J-Rod. The second annual Grand Slam began the first event in the first ever IPW triple header, and it was one of the best events of the year. The night began with a very frustrated Ren Jones coming down to the ring to vent to the IPW fans about his opponent, IPW champion Carter Gray, being unable to compete. This kept Ren from getting the title shot he earned. Ren was interrupted by rising contender KJ Reynolds, who didn't even get a chance to speak before being dacked with a right hand from Jones, prompting a match between the two. While Jones did pick up the victory, further solidifying the idea that he is the top contender on the roster, Reynolds had his moments and proved he can hang with one of the best IPW has to offer. Casey Tempest came to the ring to commit yet another unprompted attack on KJ Reynolds after the match. This time, however, Reynolds was ready for it. He countered Tempest's attempt at a pile driver onto a steel chair with his signature tilt-a-whirl DDT. Speaking of the forgotten, Jeremiah Nazareth vowed to IPW that he would make sure they remembered him after tonight. Nazareth took on Anderson Knight, and albeit a good solid win, Nazareth spent a lot of the match taking a pounding from Knight and needed Casey Tempest's help to get the victory. Nazareth's win streak stays alive, but that certainly wasn't a memorable performance. If Nazareth wanted to be remembered after tonight, he would have to do something with much more significance. There was an uncertainty in former IPW champion and Death Threat Army member Jack Price as to whether he can trust his second-in-command, Adam Wick, now that Aaron Orion has returned. Wick assured Price that his word remains true and even suggested the two of them would be the second team to compete for the vacant IPW tag team titles later in the evening. Wick and Price shook on it and the match was set. We know that Jimmy Shaw-Win has trust issues and he wants to be on his own, but was once again booked in a tag team match, this time with Mondo Real. Their opponents would be BENDRICK Bison and Kyler Coleman. It would appear that after leaving the Golden Standard behind, Coleman is looking for a new tag team partner. Bison showed he is not interested in sharing the glory as he allowed Kyler Coleman to hit his finishing maneuver, then tossed Coleman out of the ring so he could be the one to score the pinfall. After the match, Coleman approached Shaw-Win backstage to make the proposal that the two of them become a team. It will be interesting to see how this plays out in the coming weeks. Next up was the biggest Michiana Championship match of the year, quite literally, between the 6'8" challenger Ray TAURUS and the big swamp daddy Brutus Atwell. TAURUS had never even been tested in a match yet, and many were already writing Atwell's obituary. Brutus Atwell would show why he is the Michiana champion and prove the doubters wrong as he successfully defended his championship and officially put the first loss on Ray TAURUS's record. On his way back through the curtain, a frustrated TAURUS removed his mask for the first time ever. We did not see his face, but what does this mean for the future of Ray TAURUS? The second half of the night began with the vacant IPW tag team titles. Derek Wolf would enter the ring to announce that Solo once again called in sick, so there would be no iPad on a pole match. Wolf would then welcome 9 to 5, but only Jack Verville came through the curtain. Jack informed everyone that Lewis Linden was back at Wolf Industries headquarters working late and that he had no tag team partner for the match. Just then, the Colonel of Clappin' Cheeks, LADON Sanders, entered the ring. Fans will remember Sanders asked Wolf to invest in his business at Aftermath, but Wolf wasn't ready to commit. Sanders offered to team with Verville and join Wolf Industries on one condition, that Derek Wolf give him that investment. Wolf agreed to the terms, and the match was on. Adam Wick and Jack Price were firing on all cylinders, and it appeared the new DTA would bring home the belts. But in a shocking betrayal, Adam Wick turned on Jack Price and allowed LADON Sanders and Jack Verville to win the match and become the new IPW Tag Team Champions. Price would rise to his feet to confront Wick, but was jumped from behind by Aaron Orion. Orion and Wick would issue a beating until KYNG would run down to the ring to assist Price. KYNG challenged Orion to a match in the main event, then offered his allegiance to Price. As the old saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It appears that a war between two Death Threat armies has just begun. In triple threat action, we saw a match featuring Chad Alpha, Jason DeMilo, and Ryan Matthias. This match featured constant cheating, double teaming, double crossing, and all-around dirty tactics from each man all the way through. In the end, Ryan Matthias kept his winning streak alive. Marco Modelo made his first appearance since turning his back on IPW fans at Aftermath. While it seems the audience couldn't understand what Modelo was saying, we could all tell that he was fired up. His opponent was IPW fan favorite FELIX MOREO. Marco Modelo was able to keep his streak alive, remaining undefeated and picking up a big victory. Derek Wolf would return to the ring at this point to congratulate LADON Sanders and Jack Verville. Wolf invited them to the ring and thoroughly praised them both. To everyone's surprise, Wolf even thanked the fans and let them all know he appreciated them before officially agreeing to invest in LADON Sanders' business. A disgusted Jack Verville was having none of it at this point and bashed Wolf over the head with the same iPad due to be used in the canceled iPad on a pole match. Verville would then steal LADON Sanders' tag team belt and exit ringside to a chorus of boos. How are the new tag team champions going to coexist after this? And has Derek Wolf really turned over a new leaf? The main event was next. JUMAL KYNG, a former title challenger, Fate of 8 semifinalist, and without a question, one of the best athletes on the IPW roster, versus Aaron O'Ryan, the former Michiana interim IPW champion who never lost either title. Throughout the match, both of these men proved why they are considered to be the elite competitors in the company. O'Ryan has never been decisively beaten, and while King came close, the match was interrupted by an interfering Adam Wick on O'Ryan's behalf, then Jack Price on King's behalf, leading to a no contest. Referees would break up the melee, but they were led to the ring by Josh Raymond. Raymond would find a microphone to announce that while he is out of action, the IPW Board of Directors offered him the temporary position of head matchmaker in IPW. Raymond's first order of business was to make a huge match for the main event at Grave Danger 3 on October 29th in Grand Rapids. JUMAL KYNG versus Adam Wick versus Jack Price versus Aaron O'Ryan versus Ren Jones versus IPW champion Carter Gray. This will, without a question, go down as the biggest match in IPW history. Following the event, Brutus Atwell approached Josh Raymond to make a request. Atwell demanded a match with JERAMAYA NAZARETH. Terry Van Avery didn't like the sound of this, as Atwell had just offered him a shot at the Michiana Championship. Raymond told the two he would figure it out, and he has done so. I have been given the pleasure of making the announcement in the main event of IPW Heat in Sturgis, Michigan on September 10th. Brutus Atwell will defend the IPW Michiana Championship against both JERAMAYA NAZARETH and Terry Van Avery in a triple threat match. That concludes this edition of The Insider. Be sure to join us on September 10th for the second chapter of IPW's first triple header, Heat.